Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Top Terran tip tutorial. We don't need music because it distracts us from what we're talking about. The new season has begun, and as you'd imagine... Oh, yeah, wait, you're wondering, Nathanias, why are you playing a free-for-all map in a 1v1? Oh, no. I didn't queue for free-for-all. I know Blizzard removed free-for-all, but I didn't find a way to magically... play a free-for-all and only one other guy queued up. No. This is an actual ladder map. If you haven't heard of it, it's called Korhal Karnage Knockout. And there are some very strange things about this map. I'm going to teach you how to abuse the ever-loving crap out of this map. Now, this map has a lot of things I just want to pause and point out very quickly. In your main base, you have the top of your ramp has rocks on it. 1,500 hit point rocks. Your ramp itself has a cooling tower with 500 health. When knocked over, becomes a 2,000 hit point rock. Across the yonder is your natural, fully exposed, and next to it is your third, also blockable by a cooling tower and a high ground rock. But wait, there's more. Behind your main base, you also have a giant rock with 2,000 hit points and 3 armor. But if you don't want to leave your base, there's another tandem cooling tower, where if you knock one down, it knocks down both, creating two 2,000 hit point rocks. That is the most important thing for me to tell you because this is at every single spawn. Now, when you boot up into the game will tell you where your opponent can spawn. It will either be the opposite corner of the map here, or, as we see in this game, here. I'm playing against a player named Jig, who's actually quite good, and to be perfectly honest, I don't know if I would have been able to beat him if I had queued him on any other map. But, the strategy. We opened up with a very standard 14 supply depot, 16 supply barracks, 16 supply gas, and we follow it up with, well, about a 17 or 18 supply gas. So this is going to be one base, because this is the best way to play this map. There are some things about Terran that make this map so good for us. So if you're a Terran player and you're like, Nate, I heard this map's bad, should I veto it? No, this map is broken for Terran. You, unlike any other race, have the ability to float your stuff, which means that these rocks that can block you out of your natural are not that big of a deal. Say you want to go CC first and 10 roaches show up. Well, and they break these rocks to prevent you from reinforcing your natural. You lift your command center up and you lose some SCVs, but you don't die immediately. So this strategy that I'm going to talk you through as we get a factory is after the barracks is done. This is basically going to be a very fast Marine tank Banshee push. You can do it without Banshees if you don't want to, but I like Banshees because your opponent's already going to be so worried about everything that you want to do. It is just going to make their life really difficult in general. Walling off on this map is very hard to do, but you're going to cheese your opponent, so honestly, it doesn't matter. After you have your factory on the way, you're going to start your reactor as soon as you have the gas for it, and you can SCV scout. I send my SCV the wrong way this game. Well, no, I do send it the right way, but I mean, he doesn't go straight to his base. You should always check the opposite corner because you can easily check both bases here, and the Zerg will always be expanding to this base if they have spawned in either of these two positions. Now, sometimes they will spawn here, of course, and you also know by checking both of these bases that your Zerg opponent is here. As we can see, our Zerg opponent has opened up pretty greedily, but he's done something interesting, right? He said, oh, Nathanias, I'm just going to use the map to my advantage. I'll play greedy, knock down the debris towers, and I will safely secure 3 bases because I'm Zerg, I'm OP, and there's nothing you can do about it. Well, you know what, boys? Today, we make Terran great again because this way of playing is so insanely abusive that I got a call from Hitler out of hell asking me to please stop using strategies like this. The first thing I do when I see that his debris has been knocked down is think to myself, well, maybe he's got overlords on the map. He has an overlord on the map. I fan my Marines out, I go and look for it, but wait, hey, what happened back home, Nathanias? When your factory finished, you immediately started a starport, built a tech lab with the factory, and swapped that starport onto the factory tech lab. So now you can build cloak banshees. You're going to get the cloak upgrade, you're going to get a banshee, just one banshee. And there's a specific reason for this that you're going to find out in about 2 minutes. Then you build another tech lab with the factory, and you start building siege tanks while also building marines and supply depots. Don't get supply blocked, okay? You just, I mean, she'll never ever go on another date with you if you supply block the first time that you get with her. So I like to build a bunker outside this position. This is not really important. This doesn't end up mattering. This was just me being kinky because I'm a nice guy. So the Banshee's going to go to your opponent's base, right? Our opponent played pretty greedily. But this is not a map where you rush mutas. So what do? We start harassing. Now, I'd like you to notice two things that are very important about this. If you are able to harass your opponent properly, they will run their stuff away. But there's no creep spread here. If he has a spore, it's in his mineral line. If he were to build a spore in his mineral line and move it here or here, that exposes one of his mineral lines. So he'd need to build either A, a shit ton of spores, or B, he can't cover everything. So this is also kind of unnecessary. I get high capacity fuel tanks to follow this up because I like medevacs. So, by the way, you're going to build a medevac once that Banshee's done. That's why you only build one Banshee. And you're just going to rally across the map and get ready to kill your opponent. So, pay attention. He runs his lings down here. Okay, yeah, he's got Zerglings. Oh, he's got drones. No big deal. But my Banshee kills a queen. And then I just start working on these debris. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to knock this cooling tower down. I'm going to cut his main base off from his natural. And he says, oh, I'm going to bring my drones up here. I'm going to bring my drones up. No big deal. That's fine. He's got a spore crawler now. He's almost got a lair. But I say, you know what? Screw you, man. I'm going to knock the debris down. And guess what? I've got a medevac. So I can move my tank to the high ground. And this is basically the focus of this strategy. Because you're not building anything other than marines, tanks, and medevacs after that first Banshee with Cloak. The Cloak Banshee just gives you a little bit of power to push your opponent around. So, you're going to break this debris down. Because now, oh no, his Zerglings can't run into his main. Well, so we've got two options. We can push through this where there's a bunch of lings, and maybe he'll make more, and maybe he'll have enough units to defend, or we go to his main base and kill everything because he's got a 2,000 hit point, 3 armor rock. It's literally between a rock and a hard place. And yes, in this game, the hard place is me. So, we just slowly elevator everything up into his main. There's nothing he can do. I drop a mule to repair. Banshee dies anyway, but I don't care. I repair the medevac. I'll repair the tanks. And then that's pretty much it. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I just elevator everything across. And there is nothing my opponent can do because there's a giant rock in between his main and his natural. GG. If you want to cheese people, if you are someone who says, Nathanias, macro, complicated builds are not for me, then whatever you do, do not veto this map. Korhal, Karnage, Knockout, LE. You can do strategies like this against Terran. Of course, other Terran players may also want to do this against you, so be careful. You can do this versus Protoss. Also, by the way, Terrans can lift. There's nothing he can do with this hatch. He can't lift it. He can't pull back into his main. He doesn't have medevacs early on. Same with Protoss. You cut the Protoss off of here, and they don't have a warp gate out here with a powered conduit pylon. What exactly are they going to do? You just go to the other base if they warp in. Warp into your natural, drop in the main. Warp in the main, drop into the natural. 2,000 hit point rock. Get wrecked, scrubs. This has been a Nathanias tutorial. I recorded this live on my twitch.tv/Nathanias channel. Like I said, twitch.tv/Nathanias, where I stream StarCraft for about 6 to 7 hours every single day from 1 p.m. Pacific time until about 8 or 7 p.m. Pacific time. Make sure to leave a comment in the comment section below. Like the video if you liked it. And if you enjoy this content and you want to see more of it, this content is brought to you by my subscribers on Twitch TV. $4.99 a month. You get all my replays. And you get to play in my sub games, but also you get to basically make me make these videos. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you guys next time.